Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be in the cosmos and all of creation. I'm Rocken, Larry Locken with Pleiadian Late Night Talk from Pleiadian Express Productions, along with my co-host 9 hours up the coast on the North American Pacific Northwest coast, if I said that right, Ravishing Raquel Toombs. Raquel, how are you doing tonight? I understand, hon, too, that you have had some questions. You know, since we've been doing these shows, you're getting these questions, and I know it's really hard to type out answers to people, and so I know you wanted to take this opportunity to kind of answer some of them. So I'm going to go ahead and just let you roll with it, as well as I had something I wanted to talk about a little bit later on, as far as you know, being careful on Facebook and watching who you accept, you know, on friend requests and things of that nature. But I'm going to go ahead and let you roll. And how are you doing tonight, hon?
I'm doing good. I was, for some reason, I'm feeling a little bit anxious and kind of nervous right now. I don't know why. Normally, I'm not.
Me too.
I've been sitting here actually watching my, watching the energy, watching my aura and the energy shoot off my hands, and it's, wow, it's getting more and more intense. It's just amazing to see. But I was sitting in the sun a couple days ago, and I was looking at them, and the light it was like a whitish light shooting off my hands, and my physical hands like disappeared up to my knuckles, and I freaked right out. I said to Mom, "Oh my God, what if I turn into light and absolutely, completely, you know, cease to exist here?" She's like, "Oh, that's not going to happen, right?" But then I thought, well, wait a minute, we are turning back into light, right? Or light bodies. So then I kind of like, you know, kind of cooled and calmed myself and thought, okay, well, then that's a really good thing. So now I just kind of go with the flow and enjoy my new eyes and my new vision. But yeah, it can be a bit freaky sometimes, that's for sure.
Yeah, I noticed your on that one video. I noticed your toes with the purple aura, and of course, I've seen videos from you like that before. But man, that one was intense. It's really happening for you quick, you know. I mean, this transition into the light body. It's amazing.
Oh, it's been like I kind of describe it as my Ascension boot camp. It's been like an intense Ascension boot camp. Like my higher self must be like a kick-ass sergeant, or my guides, because this past, I guess just since I don't know, a year and a half or whatever, is the changes in my body, the changes in my vision, you know, everything has just been. I'm just getting a crash course. Like I'm like, yeah, it's been really intense, and it continues to be really intense. But I've quickly, you know, found ways to, you know, breathing and meditation, and you know, ways to deal with it. And you know me, and I'm not, you know, that not a big. I don't advise research. You know, researching when it comes to matters like this, because it's kind of like I look at it as, you know, we've kind of, in a way, we've done this before. Like we were children, and we grew to, you know, the adults we are today, right? So
No
when
question.
yeah, pardon?
No question about it.
Sure.
You know,
Yes, when we were kids, right?
Yeah, hey, I wanted to interrupt for a second and remind everybody, like I've been talking to Raquel for about a year and a half now, and I probably had a casual conversation with over 30,000 people, and like I've said before, this lady has had the most intense, quick ascension symptoms that I have ever seen. I've seen one other close, but not like hers, and so she really has had a crash course. It's been a long but a quick road, and yeah, it's just been amazing to watch this whole thing materialize with you.
Well, it's yeah, it's I mean, so much has happened, and so much, you know, continues to happen, and it's you know, it's a beautiful, you know, it's a beautiful thing. But at the same time, like I haven't been really posting a lot or sharing a lot of my story, except for, you know, our shows that we've been doing, because it's kind of like so much has happened. I don't even know exactly where to start, or I'll think about, you know, writing something, and it's like I don't even know where to start. I mean, everything's so huge, and it's so much that we're experiencing is so beyond words. Like, you know, the feelings and the things we're experiencing is getting to be more and more beyond words. So it's really hard for me to, and I mean, I've always been a writer. I've never had a problem. I've always been very articulate, and I had a very easy time expressing myself through my writing, and I'm just finding it really hard to do that, because even when I was, you know, writing before, writing short stories or poetry or whatever, I don't know, I didn't have a problem expressing it, but now it's just, I just don't even know. It's huge. And also, to go from being sick and addicted and overweight and just being so sick and depressed and suicidal and on so many prescriptions for so many years, and for me it just it just one day all that stopped, and I went through the I went through the death process, the death of the physical body and the death of and basically I still don't know exactly what happened. I know I have several with me. So I guess my higher self stepped in and said, you know what, this is it. Everything is changing. It's time. Oh, I'm getting some major heart stop right now.
Yeah,
wow.
You're so collective. It's just amazing. I mean, I get what you're saying about the articulation. I mean, I used to be the greatest speller you could ever imagine, and now I can't spell worth a shit. I can't describe anything worth a damn, and it gets beyond words to explain even a simple question somebody asks, because you have to feel it to really. I can try to give a generic answer, but I'm even having trouble doing that now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. That kind of, for some reason that's going through my mind, because some things like, there's some of us there's many of us that are kind of, that we're at the same kind of point right now in our path, right? So that very little, if anything, really has to be said, because we all are experiencing the same. I guess it's in waves, right? So we're this wave that that we're flowing and we're on it, and so we don't really even have to say too much to each other. We just know because we're all experiencing the same thing at the same time. Then there's people that are not on the same wave, but they're connected to us, but not on the same wave, so that we might try. It's harder to articulate because they're not they're not quite at that point of being able to understand. And for us it's hard to you can't explain it, because you have to know, like you can't just like you can't teach people how to connect to your inner self. You can't take you can give them a guideline, you can give them suggestions, but you can't say to them, okay, look, do this, and do that, and bang, you'll be able to see your aura, or bang, you'll be able to, connect to higher self, or, you can just give suggestions and say what works for you, right?
Yeah, definitely. To simplify that, it would be like, telling an aspiring hockey player, it would be like Wayne Gretzky trying to just tell them to do what he does, or Michael Jordan to do what he does, or Beethoven, or Mozart, or anybody like that, not comparing us to that level, but you know what I mean? You can teach the basics and tell the fundamentals and tell this and that, but until you're full of that feeling, you really can't describe how you come about doing this. I mean, like your auras and stuff, I mean, you couldn't explain to somebody, well, gee, how do you make that happen? How did it come about? Well, I mean, fuck, how do you know?
Well, I'd like to touch on that if I can.
Go for it.
Of course I can, and I will, and I am. The question is, how do you capture it on camera? Well, my answer to that is I have no freaking idea. I don't know how the camera captures it, but it does. Another question is, do you see it with your eyes? Yes, I see it with my eyes. It's very intense now, but it's not. I don't see it as bright purple with my eyes. That the camera picks it up as bright purple. I see it as a whitish color, and I'll get glimpses of purple for split seconds as I watch it, and then it'll go back to the white. And I think that's because my camera seems to pick up on things that I don't see. Like in the past, it's been a gradual thing. It'll pick up on things that I don't see with my eyes yet. Like the first time I captured the energy was last December. I didn't see it with my eyes at that point. It wasn't until just a short while ago that I was in the car, and for me, I just close my eyes and I go inside myself. And when I go inside myself, I connect to, there I am, right? There I am. I connect to everything, and I'm like lifted up, and I'm in just a blissful state. And so I do that often, and I was doing that in the car, and I opened my eyes from that, disconnected to come back down here, and as soon as I opened my eyes, I saw the energy shooting from my hands. And so I've seen that with my eyes ever since, and I can even see that now. And it's a different way of looking. It's like using new eyes, or else using your ancient eyes. It's like a muscle that you have to develop. So it's kind of like the way I see it, I can see it like, even like before it was just in the sun, but now I can see it indoors and stuff. And it's just, when I was little and the Christmas tree lights, I'd squint my eyes at the Christmas tree lights and they'd kind of, you'd see the way that they'd look beautiful. And so that's kind of what it's like. It's like using it's a different way of seeing. You just kind of, and your eyes kind of get used to it.
It's tuning into another setting. And by the way, on a side note, Sif was in the background giving you a thumbs up and a smile when you were describing all that, because you're so right on. Yeah, it's like a different adjustment setting to your eyes. And yes, and no, your eyes don't have lens glare either. Of course, that would be amazing within itself. But
yeah, but it's also it's quite the adjustment because because now we're seeing like I'm seeing, we're seeing our light bodies. I'm seeing my light body big time, right? Like I'm seeing the energy like just coursing off me, like so much to the point, like I said, where I was afraid. I was just going to turn to light and cease to exist. But I mean, I know that's not going to happen, right? But anyway,
sun gazing. The sun gazing is really the only thing that does that for me. If I sun gaze, and this is the honest truth, I'll wait, let my eyes adjust for a minute after I'm done. I'll go and look in the mirror. My whole, not just my face, my whole body will glow green. Then it'll glow an indigo. Then the two colors will come back and mesh. And I mean, it's just amazing. And, it just, that video you showed reminded me of that. You were outdoors and the sun is obviously the source energy. From, us starseeds are really attuned to the sun and getting more and more. I don't know,
Well, I was actually sun gazing the other day, and I've been sun gazing I haven't researched. You know me, I haven't researched anything. I've let my body be guided to what it needs to do. So my body, I don't eat meat. I don't watch TV. I don't watch the news. I don't read newspapers. I don't eat a lot of, I don't eat any fast foods. I eat hardly no sugar. I don't do drugs. I don't drink alcohol. One Caesar every once in a while for dinner, but my spirit doesn't like it. I'm still, the smoking is something I'm still working on. I know, I have to quit. My body's saying, enough is enough. But I've just been guided to look at to sun gaze. I didn't even know what sun gazing was, and it's just a different way. It's like you don't go out there and just stare directly at the sun, right? You just just go down, meditate, chill, or whatever. And it's like using your new eyes or your ancient eyes. The same way you see your energy. You just kind of flex your eyes or just kind of squint your eyes, and you just allow yourself to be guided, and you'll see beautiful colors. And I see liquid. Platinum liquid living cells of light and shapes and strands and the most amazing colors and so much purple. I see so much purple when I sun gaze. And the other day it was about 5 o'clock, and for some reason my one eye closed and my other eye stared directly at the sun at 5 o'clock, and I'm thinking, oh great, what am I going to burn my retinas now? But I just whatever, I just let go and I trust, because my body's done lots of things. It's made all these weird movements. Sometimes it shakes, the clicking and cracking and popping and all this weird stuff, and I just step aside and let it happen. So about 5 o'clock, I was gazing at the sun, and I was looking at it for long periods. Like, I don't suggest this, don't do this, just let your body guide you. But I was looking at it for long periods of time, one eye at a time, and what I saw was that the sun totally went black. The sun went black, and the sky around it was like a gold, and then all of a sudden, it was completely purple. The sky, the sun was black, and the sky was purple. And I was looking at the sun, one eye at a time, staring directly at it for like probably 20 minutes or more. And I thought, oh my God, like what, but I mean, and then the thought came to mind when I was doing that, that soon, I don't think we'll even have to eat if we don't want to.
No, I think that this energy really, and I think a lot of indigenous people in certain parts of the world already have known this and live off the sun energy for the most part. And I wanted to ask you, I wanted to just mention too, when I sun gaze, I'm at the point now where I look directly up with my eyes, and it takes a split second to adjust, and I see it clearly, and it still, of course, it spins around and then illuminates more yellow, then pink, and moves side to side like I'm almost seeing into another portal.
Yes, it definitely moves side to side, the sun. Yeah, it does. Oh.
But I wanted to ask you, what you mentioned about seeing those colors up there, right? And you gazed for 20 minutes. How many minutes would you say, if you had to estimate in, it started turning that way?
Almost right away with one eye. Just within a second or two, it was even less than a second. As soon as I looked at it, it was so bright, but then all of a sudden the sun went black, and then all the colors, the gold, and then the bright purple, and then the sun is just kind of goes boom, 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 like it like you said, it kind of moves around, right?
Yeah,
And
Raquel,
and
I've been getting this urge when I do that. It's funny you say the eye thing, but it's only my right eye. I've been getting the urge to close my right eye and just look with my left. Is it both eyes with you at different times?
No, for me, what was happening is it was my left eye, and for the longest, well, actually, ever since I started sun gazing, ever since I don't even like to say I started because it's just something that naturally happened, and I just went with it. But ever since I started, it was mostly like my left eye that could take most of the light, most of the sun, and my right eye that was, not as much. But I guess just the other day I had a major, and I could feel an upgrade, like my DNA, my light body upgrade, whatever it was. I could feel it happening because I could feel like the muscle in my head and the side of my jaw and my cheek. I feel like it was like almost going to rip and shift. Like I've been feeling it a lot anyway, right? The structural changes in my face and my body and everything. But this was like my head was kind of back, and I could feel the changes or whatever was happening, the upgrade or whatever, especially centered in my head. So probably, my third eye area, but also right down the side of my face and my muscles and stuff. So it was predominantly my left eye when I first started, but then just the other day, my left eye, and then all of a sudden my left eye closed and my right eye looked directly at the sun, and then it was just, I haven't looked at, like I wasn't looking at it with both eyes open. It was just one eye at a time. But and it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't something that I don't suggest just going out there. I met this guy named James in Vancouver, and we've been talking. He's a really cool guy, and he was actually telling me about a guy that lived off the sun for over a year or whatever, like no food and even not even a lot of water, but and he mentioned, I told him about my experience. He says, yeah, I think I saw something like that once, and but most people see it on drugs. And he said, I think I damn near burned my retinas, right? And so after he said that to me, I thought to myself afterwards, oh no, I joked with him, I think I burned my retinas because I don't think, I know that I didn't, because I can see okay, and I trust my higher self to guide me, and it hasn't steered me wrong yet. So, but after that, that was a major upgrade of some sort that I had when I was guided to look at the sun for that long. But since that, the energy I see coming off me, even in the house and even now, at first it was just, mostly in the sunlight, I guess, to adjust, it's an adjustment to the new eyes, but now I can see it, even sitting here. And then, but I also find that my vision down here, not as far as the capacity to see light, because that's pretty phenomenal, but my vision down here is not as good. It's changed. As far as reading things, seeing things on the computer, looking down on the ground or whatever, it's like things kind of like shift around. I had a spider crawling up my wall, and I looked at it, and I've been like, that's one of the last fears I have to lose is my fear of spiders. And I had a spider crawling up the wall, and I could see it, and then as soon as I focused on it using my eyes that I used to see my energy, it was gone. And then I looked away, and then I looked back with my regular eyes, and it was there, and then I focused with my ancient eyes, and it was gone again. It's like, oh my God. So I'm starting out small with spiders, but hopefully that doesn't happen when, with my mom, she's sitting in front of me, and all of a sudden I look at her with my ancient eyes and she disappears. I mean, that would be, well, who knows, right? But as long as she reappears again somewhere, then that's cool.
Yeah, this is really huge, though. I mean, if this is really truly happening, and I know it is, I mean, think about how powerful we really are as beings, being able to have the sun do that for us, and even the moon and stars. And, I mean, what we can tap into and what we have to remember. I always tell people this is a cheesy quote from a song, Oz never did give anything to the Tin Man that he didn't already have. We've all got this within us, and it's just amazing. And what this means is somehow we must be more powerful than we can even imagine,
Oh, yes, we are. Definitely. Like I'm, and also with, with manifesting, and things are manifesting really, really, like it's instant. I believe we talked about that last time. as soon as I think of something, and it's not even just a thought. Okay, quite often it's the thought, but it's always followed by words. So I'll have the thought, and then I'll say something to you or to Lionel or whatever, and I'll mention something, and bang! As soon as I mention it, there it is. It's in my reality. So we have to be, because we're stepping into our power, we have to be very, very mindful about what we're focusing on. We have to be very, very cautious of our thoughts, and we have to, kind of guard our thoughts and keep the positive, keep the positive thoughts and keep creating the good things, because that's how the new earth is going to be created, right? The consciousness, is we have to we have to put that positivity and that love and that that bliss and that heaven that we have and that we feel. We have to put that out there so it's created in our reality, because we're creating all the time, right? So if we're constantly we're constantly putting negativity into the matrix, then that's what you're going to be. That's what's going to persist. That's what's going to stay, right? So
yeah, it's amazing. Whether I'm talking to you or Victoria, Pleiadian, or Luke Lavelle, Lionel Anderson, or whether it's Sif, whether it's a lot of our other admins in our group, Derek, Cynthia, others, Natalie, Alea. It's like we're having this conversation, and okay, like we said, you're saying it, or it's just really a race to see which one of us is going to type it first, because we're all thinking it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and I'm a slow typer, so I'll be like typing, and then I end up just having to, just get rid of it because it was already said, right? So yeah.
Yeah, totally. That's where I dominate, is on the typing. Yeah, on the audio, it's your go here. And
yeah, I find it's great, and thank you so much for the PDP and allowing me to to come on and share my story, and it's just we got such, I love you so much. We got such an awesome connection and such an awesome flow between us, and I have like Janice, like she did a body talk session for me today. And we really need her, and I told her, body talk, that's ascension, that's for ascension. Body talk is just it's different. It's a form of, yeah, it's a form of healing or whatever. She just basically it encourages what it encourages brings together body, mind, and soul, and encourages your body to do what it does naturally. So she's not going in there and whoosh, deciding on her own that this chakra needs to be open or that or whatever. It's nothing like that. She's just, encouraging my body what it does, what it needs to do naturally by certain, like she'll hold my wrist and she does certain hand movements, and that will tell her what parts of the body is what, if there's any issues, what kind of blockages there are. And then there's just different tapping techniques. And I haven't been to, I was so sick. I had chronic bronchitis, asthma, sinusitis, several surgeries. I had cervical cancer. I had just so much stomach problems. On so many medications. I went to the doctor all the time, all the time. I haven't gone to a doctor in over a year, a year and a half or whatever. I don't go to doctors anymore because I haven't needed to. I have no problems with allergies, asthma. It's all that is healed now, right? All that is it's healed, and that has a lot, because everything changed, and I was healed. Everything was kind of lifted from me. But I also I eat really, I eat healthy. I listen to my body. I meditate. I exercise. I laugh. I connect with nature. I take care of myself. I don't watch TV. So I'm doing all the right things, and our bodies have amazing healing, abilities, and our natural state is one of health and love and abundance, and our natural state is not one of sickness or one of depression or one of sadness. And we've come so far away from our natural state, right? We're being brainwashed, we're being controlled, we're being told, okay, well, you're depressed, so this means that you're clinically, so we're going to give you a label and we're going to put you on medication. And now they've got this frickin' new I sound like Lionel now. They got this frickin' new this new disorder they're calling it. I forget what it's called, but it's something about, do you have inappropriate emotions? Do you laugh at inappropriate times? It's kind of like, what? Are you serious? Like, wow. And I just thought that was absolutely ridiculous. Like, emotions are like it's normal to feel stuff, but I mean, um, oh, it's just, oh, no, I'm gonna go on a rant. Oh
Is this
no.
a commercial, or are they actually having? I wouldn't surprise me. Is there a commercial spouting all
Yeah,
this?
well, I don't watch TV anymore. This was a
Right.
while back, but it says, do you suffer from inappropriate emotions? And they show this person, like, I don't know, laughing at a funeral or something like
Yeah, you know what, Raquel? It's like this. You know, I don't watch much TV either, but several months back, late at night, I had it on for some reason, and this commercial comes on, and it looked like a billboard. It said, hey, you know, have you ever breathed in asbestos? Have you ever known anybody with asbestos? Have you ever known anybody that's been around mesothelioma? And it went down all these lists,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then it was like, I forget the law firm, but I think it was called Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. No, that's the joke. Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. But yeah, I mean, my God, do you have this? Are you a human? Hey, I can. Do you breathe? You find yourself breathing. You find yourself opening your eyes. You walk around. Well, you might have, you know, whatever. We've got this mind controlling placebo drug to, you know, it's just getting
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. If it wasn't so sad, it's getting comical, you know?
Well, I think that, I mean, we have to realize, like, no, I didn't go outside. I'm right here. Why did you see? Did I just bilocate, Mom?
You're a bilocator.
Yeah, it's weird because quite often she'll hear me and or else she'll see me and she'll be like, "Weren't you just I just," and I'm like, "No, Mom, it's cool. Don't worry about it." Right? So she's experiencing this stuff right along with me. She's like, she says to me a minute ago, "That's it. I'm frickin' moving. Get out of here." Right? I got enough.
You can't escape it. It's happening to all of us.
I know. Um, what were we talking about? Sorry, I'm
Well,
like,
well,
okay.
okay, there was that too. And do you have, like, what are some of the other, if you can think about it, what are some of the other questions you get hit with? Or I know
Oh,
you get asked for a lot of advice and that, but is there anything else that kind of stands out that you could touch on?
um, well, some of the other, well, I get lots of questions. Some of the other questions are, I think we pretty well covered that, like, I don't know.
Well, I did want to say then, well, you know, I want to take this opportunity to, before I get a little stern here, to thank
Uh-oh.
everybody on the Pleiadian Express staff. Thank you, Victoria Pleiadian, our dear sister, and we're sending her much love and energy. Her and Luke Lavelle, my twin flame Sith Gunner's daughter, my main man, my light warrior homeboy, ACLA Lionel Anderson, Leah Shapiro, Judith Zavala, Kiki Polak, Derek Thompson, Cynthia Boltier. We can go down the list. Sierra Morris, all, you know, everybody. I'm sure I'm forgetting some people, but I just wanted to give a big shout out to that and all our groups. And please check out the page Love for Raquel Toombs and Love for Victoria Pleiadian, as well as Love for Leah Shapiro.
And love for
Listen,
Larry Locken.
yeah, yes, yeah, yeah. Well, we won't talk about that one. But, you know, I know that earlier today you privately messaged me, and you had some idiot on there who then deactivated his account, give you a death threat. And, you know, I don't like putting labels on people. I think trolls is a stupid label because you'll hear somebody call somebody a troll just for disagreeing with them. So that word in and of itself loses the meaning of what it really is. But, you know, these people really upset me because it's the women they're targeting. They're targeting starseed goddesses. Their conscious levels are, you know, these are idiots that are targeting ladies whose consciousness level is 2,000 light years above any of theirs. And, you know, it just really makes me mad and angry. And I don't get that way normally, but, you know, these idiots need to knock it off. I was furious earlier and going to say some things, and I'm not going to, but, you know, I mean, if this were happening in real life and we all lived by each other and they were trying it, I mean, there'd be some people getting hurt. And I'm not, you know, violent, but I mean, I protect my family, and all these star seeds are my family. And people just need to knock it off. But we're better than that. Okay, everybody out there needs to be aware of who you're accepting as a friend. Just, you know, they say knowledge is power, but really consciousness and awareness is power. So really just, you know, you don't want to draw that negative energy. Not like these people are going to fly to where you are and do something, but it's the energy that'll start manifesting if you engage with these people. So just delete them, ban them, do whatever, and be done with it, you know. And I know sometimes, you know, we want to be nice, and do all that, but I can only imagine how creepy of a feeling it is for you ladies to have these idiots doing it.
Well, it's it kind of comes with the territory. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I receive a lot of messages from men that will say hello, and then they'll start yelling at me like capital letters, hello, hello, why aren't you talking to me? And it's kind of like I get so many messages, my Facebook stops, and I can't possibly respond to all of them. And I mean, we don't chat. That's something we don't do. We don't just sit there and chat. We communicate with each other, by posts, by comments, whatever, and then we'll chat. Like, I mean, the only person that I really chat with is my crush Lionel. That's all. Like, I mean, I chat with him, and then, I'll chat with you quickly, briefly, whatever, to set something up, or, call you, or with Sif quickly. But I mean, it's just something that we don't do. We're very busy. We're doing our thing. We've always got something going on. We're monitoring the groups. We're
Yes.
and we're also we're just not there. We just don't sit and chat, right?
We don't need to. Our minds are on this fucking frequency. Sorry, boss, Leah. That was my one F-bomb drop for the show. But our frequencies are connecting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we don't need to. We're all on our mission doing our own thing, and then maybe we check in with each other, or in the private admin chat we have for the mothership group, and we check in with each other, but we really don't need to. We're monitoring the group. We're not above that, but we've kind of gone beyond that now, and that's what we're doing. It'll get to the point telepathically where we probably won't even need to do a show. We'll just do that quiet show where people...
That's right. We'll do the telepathic show. Yeah.
Hold on. One of our fellow admins, Victoria Pleiadian's other half, Luke Lavelle, has commented in the chat room, the violet light of transformation is already here, just beyond the spectrum of viable light. It is our bodies that activate the light. It excites the partial, can be seen on certain settings. The settings I find to see aura settings is out of focus and cloudy on standard phone. Yeah, I think what he's getting at, and even the newer cameras, the brand newer ones, they're making it real tricky to get that setting, Raquel, where you can pick up these things. And
I didn't know they had a set. I know nothing about cameras, but I didn't know they had a setting that you could that could detect auras. Don't you need a special? I don't know. Someone asked me about a special camera that takes pictures of auras.
I have no idea. Maybe
a killer-in camera or something like that. I don't know. I just use it's what I got from my son. It's just a basic Sony. I think it's just a basic Sony. I think it was like a $200 starter camera or whatever. I'd really like to get a new camera, especially maybe one with the telescopic lens. That'd be so awesome because I see ships flying by all the time. So I'm stoked to do that. But yeah, no, the violet is being the violet flame. I mean, that's the light, and that's the energy that transmutes the suffering and transmutes the sadness and heals. That's like major healing energy, and it kind of it kind of makes sense to me why that color would be showing up on me because of what I've gone through, because of the major healing and transformation that's taken place in such a short amount of time. It fits, right? It kind of fits. But I mean, you can, definitely you pick it up around water sources, around trees, just coming from the sun, just pretty well anywhere, right? But it's also, it's not your camera, and it's not a geographic place, right? People will say, okay, well, where is that river? That looks beautiful. I want to come there and film the purple or whatever. It's kind of like, no. It's your vibrations.
Yes.
And there are places on places that have higher vibrations and more history or whatever than other places. But no, bottom line is it's your personal vibrations. And the camera is an extension of my eye, and it's an extension of your eye, right? So it's my vibrations that are picking up the energy from the river or the energy whatever, right? And now it's just kind of the next step is now I'm able to capture it coming off my body, and I'm sure I'll be able to capture it coming off of other people's bodies. I just actually did another video the other day, and I sat right in front of the camera, and I was completely purple, and it moved with my hands and my elbows and everything, and I'll do another, I'm not going to post that one right away because it was just kind of, hey, look what I can do. And it's kind of embarrassing. It's kind of like, okay, I caught it and I captured it. I put 2 videos out.
Post it, girl. You need to show your style. Post it. I wanted to tell you real quick, and I mentioned this to you in private the other day. Sif and I were just laying there talking, and she's like, I wanted to tell Raquel that she's a keeper of the Violet Flame, but she don't like labels. And I said, oh, what the hell? I'll tell her. I think on this one she would accept it and know it. And it just was really synchronistic in the way I told it to you, and you were like, yeah. So definitely.
I've actually had a couple people say that before I even captured what I did on video. I guess also because of the light codes or light symbols quite often that show up on my head, on my forehead in my pictures, and that's what they are. They're light codes. They're like, I don't know exactly what they mean. Some people are like right into symbolism and try and research them and stuff, but those are like distinct codes that light codes that my soul knows, right? And they're all quite different in appearance. Sometimes they're orange, but usually they're pinky purple. And those have been showing up for a long time. They're like for over a year anyway. So
do you get the geometric shapes, Raquel? Do you get the geometric shapes floating by you in the air ever, or the kind of little cells?
Yes, I get them a bit. Usually in the sun, but also we'll see because we're. I guess like as we go further along, our ancient eyes are going to be picking up on more and more. But I know on cloudy days or even on like on just kind of like a dreary day or whatever, I can see the energy in the air, right? It moves around and it's kind of like it's hard to it almost looks like a fine mist of rain, but it's not raining at all. That's so I see that. As far as like I know a lot of people see the geometric shapes. For me, I don't see them too much. I see them a little bit, and they start to form. But usually, how I see them is like the cells, is like the living cells of light, and there's little shapes among the living cells of light. So that's the best way I can describe it. Are you still there?
Oh yeah, totally. Don't freak out. I'm still here.
I'm not freaking out, dude.
Totally. I know Luke LaBelle keeps coming in and out, one of our fellow admins, and I wanted to tell him that we had read his comment on the air. But yeah, totally. And it just seems to get more intense. And I've noticed, like, I think we just last week it was really intense. I think we all went through a major change of manifestation. And I think you and I learned the lesson on air about a couple of things we were talking about. Oh yeah, and then we had to deal with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, always. Yeah. I know. Whenever I say something, whenever I'm sure of something, and like, well, I'm not really usually too sure of many things anymore, and that's cool, right? But as soon as I say, oh yeah, okay, well this is what it is, whatever. And then bang, it's like, okay, so not what it is. Okay, so now we gotta be very cautious about what we say for sure. Yeah, about what we think and about what we say, because we are creating, right? We are creating our reality all the time. So another thing I wanted to mention is for the past probably 3 days or so, I've been really I've been kind of not depressed, but just kind of really like blah, and kind of feeling lost, and kind of feeling like bitchy and kind of needy, and kind of just being a little sucked, like a little wimp, right? And I'm down here, and I catch myself, and it's like, okay, wait a minute, I'm miserable. What the hell is going on? So this is a little checklist I have. Have you listened to music? Have you danced? Have you meditated? Have you been out in nature? Have you laughed? Have you created anything? Have you, have you been, and those are all really quick fixes, because, okay, for one thing, when you reach a state, you go, it's so easy to just close your eyes and just go in and connect. And when you connect, you're like not even here. Like the ecstasy, it's like it's orgasmic. It's amazing, and you just connect, and you're so connected to everything. But then there's times where I just kind of like, I don't know. It's not like I forget, but there's times that I just kind of choose to dwell down here, and I'll dwell down here for a certain amount of time, and it'll be like, well, shit, man, what am I doing? Like, I could be feeling bliss for as long as I like, but I'm choosing to just sit here and be a whiny little sucky bitch, right? Like, that doesn't make any sense, right? I'm a god. Like, come on, really, go back to your godhood, right? So,
Right.
so
It's
basically,
yeah, go ahead.
so basically, it's a choice, and I don't want to make a post about this or anything because it's a, like I choose how I want to feel now. Now I choose how I want to feel now because it's been a process to get here. In the past, when I was depressed and when I was suicidal, when I tried to, when I did, several times I tried to commit suicide, when I was, psychotic, whatever. Now, if I would have heard someone tell me at that point, well, just choose to feel differently then. You're choosing how you want to feel. Choose to feel happy and wonderful, and you will. I would have said, fuck you. Sorry, Leah, but,
Oh, I would have too. I would have totally told them
yeah,
F off
yeah.
big time. I mean, it's just ridiculous. At the time, you got to get full of that feeling before it actually happens. And damn it, if I didn't forget, I had a point I was going to make. Oh, yeah. You're always talking about, too, and mentioning the point, that we have all that knowledge from within. Like with you, you didn't even need to go to class, girl. It just all came through you.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, too, is like, okay, like with feeling a certain way, do you realize, like I think we mentioned in our last show with Tyler, which was, that was an interesting show, but we have all these, as far as drugs go, like the opiates, THC, we have those naturally in our brains. If we could just tap into those receptors and bind them ourselves without pills all the time, you know what I mean, and have that joyous feeling naturally. And maybe this is on the road to doing it.
DMT, baby. I'm not talking about external DMT. I'm talking about
Exactly.
the
That
internal,
too.
right? And that's also a big part of how we're seeing. It's the natural DMT that pineal gland opens up, the brain starts secreting what it's supposed to be when we're not, when we're expanding ourselves. So the DMT is released, and that's a big part of being able to see without externally taking it. So all these things are coming back, into our system. I think for a long time we've flooded our system with with all sorts of drugs and with all sorts of crap in our foods, and so now we're making healthier choices. Now we're doing things to get healthy. We're doing things, we're expanding our consciousness. We're taking care of our physical vessels. We're allowing ourselves to be guided. So all these natural things in our brain, our brains will start, and not just that too, but I mean, a lot of people are taking antidepressants for so long, and I know I was, and basically the medical profession says, okay, well, if you take this for any length of time, well, your brain is never going to secrete the right amounts of norepinephrine or serotonin or melatonin or adrenaline because you're taking it externally, right? So it screws everything up, so you're going to be dependent on them for life. Screw that. Like, I mean, I was on them for like over 20 years, actually 30 years or whatever. I was on them for ages. Now I don't, like everything, like you're going to hear healing. We're healing. We're getting back to our natural state of being, and that is health. And that is, is extreme health and happiness and abundance and energy and, vitality and, youth. And all that's happening, right?
Totally.
So so anyway, that's the doctors, of course, in the old system or what the old paradigm, the old system, the old bullshit is still going to stand saying, oh, well, you've been on this for so long because you've been on these drugs, you're going to be screwed for the rest of your life, and you're never going to have a chance. Like, wow, what a great message to put out there for everyone, right? I mean,
and they're so uneducated, and their consciousness is so low, and they're just trying to feed the moneymaker and the pharmaceutical companies. And you know what? And the thing about it is, people listening to this may say, "Oh, that sounds great, what she's saying," but that's not reality. Yeah, it is. We're manifesting that reality, but our bodies, like you quitting the drugs and everything, and even me becoming a vegetarian and everything like that. It was our bodies that are doing this. We're not making
bodies in our higher self
sacrifice, our higher selves, our soul collective. And I would advise anybody, actually, if you've never taken any drugs, don't start. And I'm not getting on an anti-drug kick, but there's really no need because you have it within you. I think in past generations, I don't know, Raquel, you're about my age. You ever try any? Just a question. You ever try any LSD when you were a teenager?
Oh my God, did I ever? My ex-boyfriend we used to sell it, and so
Yeah,
we'd cut it into hits, and so there'd be
right.
little like the scraps of the paper left over, and I took too much.
Hmm.
Oh my God, I had some harm. They found me outside in the rain, just wearing my socks and my t-shirt, and my underwear, screaming at the top of my lungs about how the altitude was screwing all of us up, and we had to get to lower ground.
I can
Yeah,
see
it was,
I can
yeah.
see somebody doing that. You know, from the time I was about 14 to 19, I took about 50 doses, most of it at school, which I still can't believe. And then I haven't had any about 20 years. But I think for our generation, though, doing it a couple, not a bunch, but I think doing it a couple times, people that had, it really opened up that pineal gland for us, the blue rays, whereas it's not needed now for
No.
people to do. It's not needed. But I think back in those days, it really set the tone for later on. Does that resonate with you at all?
Um, well, I don't know if it really resonates too much with me, but because I think it's probably because I had like a lot of really bad acid trips, and
Right,
so
right.
yeah, so I didn't have very enjoyable ones. So I guess probably why it doesn't resonate with me, but I
Hmm.
know a lot of the things that we're seeing, I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh my God, yes, I saw something exactly like that when I was on, hallucinogens." Like, wow, that's amazing. So yeah, we are. I mean, hallucinogens are, at the time or whatever, sure, they expand, like, they pick up on other dimensions for sure. They pick up on other things. It's not just all, anyway, I don't even want to, just
No, we don't need to
say
go
it,
in there. Like
but
Sif was.
yeah, no, we're definitely, we're our bodies are like, I mean, this is like the best, the best drug ever is consciousness, right? Is
Totally, totally. And like Sif
oh,
was
like
just
nothing
saying,
compares.
yeah, and Raquel, like Sif was just saying, and I know I've said it a million times even on our show, Barbara Marciniak mentioned it in Bringers of the Dawn. The kids that were born in the early 90s and on after that, right, their strands are open to the point where the LSD really isn't any value to them to do anyway.
Mm-mm.
They already have that consciousness, you know what I mean? And I know we've talked about your childhood and you have on the air, you share it with people. I could see where your acid trips were probably really not comfortable or in a good situation at all. I mean, it's just, if you haven't ever done it, don't. And you have to be in the most perfect situation. So, okay, I can totally see where you're coming from. I bet they weren't very fun, really, for you.
No, 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 they weren't at all. No.
Yeah.
But I mean, but even now, like, I know that, like, well, we did the last show about the medicinal marijuana, and and I have, I know people that are on the medicinal marijuana for depression and stuff like that, and it's like, if that's, I was actually prescribed Sesamat, which were cannabis pills, way back when I was taking pills. I had chronic pain and stuff I suffered from. Um, but with me, and people are surprised because even, like, I mean, I was like doing so much methadone and heroin and so many different pills and crystal. Like, I mean, I was just like hardcore junkie for so long, and
Mhm.
now it's like I can't even take a Tylenol. Or even be around anyone that smokes pot. I had one hoot the other night, and I was like, "Whoa, but my head! Oh my God, my head!" Right? And it's like I was right screwed up, right? So I'm
Was
like,
that after the show? Was that after
"Yeah,
that
yeah,
crazy
that was
show?
the purple kush. Yeah, the
Yeah,
purple kush got
yeah,
me."
thank you, Tyler, for demonstrating on that show for us. I think you smoked enough for us for about a year, but yeah, totally, man. I know you had that one hit, and you like messaged me privately. I think it made y'all paranoid, didn't it?
Oh, it
You were like,
did. It did. I was totally paranoid. Yeah, people don't understand that because they're like, oh, seriously, like you were a hardcore addict for that many years, and one toke of pot just like,
yeah, I,
it does. I'm a total lightweight. I'm really and I'm really really sensitive to as like I try get organic. I eat mostly vegetables, but organic
mhm.
where possible. I don't eat fast food. I'm really sensitive to sugar. My vehicle it is pretty pure now, so except for the goddamn cigarettes.
Yeah,
um
the cigarettes, and I'm with you
yeah.
on the weed. I can only handle about a hit or two, and I'm done. But when I was in high school as a teenager, and I
Oh,
used to do a little gangbanging and sell the
I
stuff in mass, and I could smoke an ounce of it
oh
till
I
I was
know, right.
and on up. But now one or two hits, girl, I'm done.
Yeah. Well, also too, you got to keep in mind too that the THC level on the pot nowadays is way stronger than the shit that we would get back then, right?
It really is, although sometimes we'd get some hydroponic come in, right? And I mean, I still think if we had this weed back then, I still think I could smoke more of it than I can now. It's weird. I
Well,
don't
because well, I know I was a pretty harsh perma-fry too when I was a teenager. Yeah. Gone are those
know.
days. I have to pee. How long have we been on air for?
Oh, we've been on air a while. You could go pee, and we could come back up, talk a little bit, and wrap this up. And while you go pee, I could give a little public service announcement.
Okay, I'm gonna go pee. I'll be right back.
Okay, well, this is Rocken, Larry Locken, as you know, with the Pleiadian Express Productions, and I'd just like to take this opportunity to invite everybody on Facebook to check out some groups out there if they haven't already. Of course, the Mothership Pleiadians group, Leah Shapiro's Pleiadians. The Fringe Thinkers, NWO Freedom Fighters, ran by the great Lionel Anderson, Canadian Pleiadian and Pacific Northwest Pleiadian, Raquel's regional groups, Pleiadian Light Grid Project, Pleiadians UK, and the 30 regional groups, which we have listed on a page called Pleiadians Groups and Pages. And that will show you a list of all the different regional Pleiadians groups affiliated with us, and as well as some of the other groups like Andromeda, Souls Reconnected, and the Syrian Egyptian page, and things of that nature. And I'd just like to thank everybody, for all their hard work, all the admins.
No, we're not done.
And I think Raquel is back. That was quick.
Mom's like, did you just say you have to go pee on the radio? Who the hell does that?
We do that on the PEP. PEP, literally. We don't exist in time.
Pee on the PEP.
You had to pee on the PEP. This was an epic, classic moment we can look back on. Totally. And you went quick. Do you find that you're going pee more and quicker since you've awakened? I know that's a crazy question. But...
I'm drinking lots of water.
Yeah. Oh, I did want to say one thing, mentioning Janice Turner. We need you on the air for Body Talk, because I'll tell you what, the only other source I really listened to, Cryon, a few months ago, mentioned Body Talk becoming this next big thing, just real quickly.
Essential for Ascension.
You and I mentioned it too. Janice Turner, humanity needs you to come on air. Okay.
Step up, Janice Turner. Step up.
Of Vancouver, British Columbia, Janice Turner.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, or we'll make that fan page for you if you don't come on air. But yeah, it's just really great to always do a show with you, of course. And, it's like a night off doing a show with either you or Victoria. And, and the one show I did with Lionel, and we're gearing up to do another one here a little bit, when the time is right. And that's kind of how we do this. It's just out of consciousness. Yeah. And I also wanted to mention and plug, too, Saturday's show, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Natalie Alea will be doing the Munich Rights third in the 5-show series covering the Rights 5 and 6. So I hope everybody tunes into that. And, Raquel, I know you can be found basically anywhere on Facebook. But, hon, did you have anything else or any other questions? I know you get so many questions, you don't know where to start. Is there any, pick one of them maybe you wanted to tackle before we went off air? Well,
I'd kind of just like to just say that just to thank like all my new, like our circle's expanding, and I've received so many, friend requests and made so many friend connections. I have so many, oh my God, so many people sending me messages and just sending me blessings and their love, and it's overwhelming. It's like just absolutely overwhelming. So I just want to just say, hey, thank you. I just have the most. It's just beautiful what's happening right now, and we're all. We're all really getting together more and more, and more of us are connecting, and I'm just overwhelmed and just, wow, like, thank you, like, so awesome.
And what Raquel just said, that's real. In years past, you might hear somebody with their head in the clouds say something similar, but they weren't grounded in saying this. Raquel is grounded saying this on all dimensions and totally full of that feeling. And people out there who think this isn't real, this is real. This is really what's happening, and you can't force it. It's just going to come, and it's something that everybody's going to get to go through. So just, try to enjoy the ride and keep your head up. We all have this
heart space. Stay in your heart space. Stay in your heart space. Listen to your body. Allow yourself to be guided. And no fear, no fear, it's love, right? You're going to go through a lot of things. Your body's going to go through a lot of things. Your vision's going to change. You're going to hear things. You might think you're going crazy. You know, we've all experienced it. We're all experiencing it. You're not alone. You're going to go through so much. So can you have trust? Is your faith strong? Can you trust? Can you trust in the universe? Do it. Put your trust in. Just, you know, no fear. Just stay in love. Everything is amazingly beautiful. I know it's difficult sometimes and it can be scary, but just, you know, stay in that love and know that no matter what, you're not alone and you're loved. You're so loved, right? Anyway, I'm going to cry, so wrap it up, please.
Yeah, wrap it up totally. And you know what? People that aren't full of that feeling now will be. And if they're listening to this, they'll remember little bits and pieces of what you said at the time. And it'll come back, okay, I love you, honey. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. And I would, again, like to thank the Pleiadian Express production staff, all the members that do the shows, you know, all the various groups that we're in, which I mentioned on Facebook, all our Facebook collective family out there. Mention, of course, our channel on YouTube, Google, Pleiadian Express Productions. We also have the Pleiadian Light Grid Project page, which is also a YouTube, Google channel. Arcturian Crystalline Grid is on all three of those as well. So I just wanted to thank everybody out there and give some special love and energy and healing to Victoria Pleiadian right now. Send her all the love and, you know, loving energy that you possibly can, and much love to Luke Liddell, her Divine Flame, Lionel, Leah Shapiro, you know, on and on and on and on, and it don't stop even at the break of dawn. So we're bringing the dawn. Barbara, we had it right all those years ago. We are bringing the dawn, and let's just keep it positive. And on that note, hon, I think we should give everybody send everybody off with a big cosmic dating game kiss. Mwah. Da 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 da.